Hello, I am Rashida Jarwadwala and I'm an intern at Setco Foundation. And today we are here to talk about the early intervention and child developmental services in low resource settings in India. I would now like Ms. Urja to talk about the outline of the project.
Hello, I'm Urja Shah, and I'm the managing trustee of the foundation that implements this project called the Pahel Project. The reason we started the project was that at the time that we were working in malnutrition intervention, we also began screening the children in terms of their developmental status and realized that almost 40% of the children exhibited some form of developmental delay or disability in these areas, and there were absolutely no resources for the families to support these children or their families. The way the project has been set up is to screen all the children possible between the ages of 0 to 6 through a tool known as the Guide for Monitoring Child Development. Through that tool, the children are identified as either being typically developed, having some sort of risk factor, but being typically developed, or being delayed, whether in group 2, 3, or 4, which is degrees of developmental delay, bordering, and then moving into disability. If we find that the children are typically developed, then they continue on with regular screening and regular 0 to 6 services. If there is a risk factor, then there is a referral process, and the risk factor is identified and worked through, such as whether medical intervention is required, whether there is maternal risk, or whether there is malnutrition. If there is delay, in that case, we refer the child to a medical to a professional medical officer for the DASI assessment, which then allows us to understand what is the nature of the delay or disability and what would be the therapeutic intervention plan. Then our community development aides, who are paratherapists, will follow up with that plan to offer intervention services for the child as well as the family. So thank you for that, Rashida.
As a part of evaluating the project, we retrospectively collected the data from the records of the Pahel program and the assessments and identified a cohort of children who belonged to the group 4, which is delay with a risk factor, and also had taken intervention at our center for 3 years. We then identified whether the children showed any improvement in the developmental status by monitoring the change in the groups of the child, whether they moved to group 3, group 2, or group 1, and also identified the areas of delay at presentation and at the end of 3 years. What we noticed was that in 2014, 85% of children who had initially classified as group 4 at the end of 3 years belonged to group 1, that is typically developed. 55% in 2015 and 59% in 2016. And also we saw that among the areas of delay, speech delay remained the most prevalent area in all the 3 years. We do acknowledge that the GMCD was being implemented in 2014, 15, and 16, and there was a space for the children being misclassified as group 4 because the GMCD was being adapted culturally at that point in time. And there were other factors as well that such as better nutrition and early stimulation that may have also contributed to the development of the child besides the early intervention services being provided by the CDAs and the CHWs. But there is some definite implications of this study and the project. We have qualitatively and quantitatively seen an improvement in not only in the development of the child, but also in the development of the community as a whole. We also know that now it's possible to provide access to the rural areas of India to early intervention services, and there's a place for screening that could be done at that level through the involvement of the community as well. The community as a whole, there is a general stigma and certain cultural myths around developmental delay and disability. And by involving the people of the community to provide such interventional services and to educate the community, it is much easier for them to accept what we are trying for them to accept the delay in the child and also to help work towards it. We've also focused on caregiver strengthening because it's a very important part that we not only work with the child, but we also work with the parents or the caregiver who actually are the ones who who help in the entire development and are with the child 24/7 to help the child develop as normally as we can. So the entire project revolves around a family-centered approach, where not only the areas of delay are worked on, but we also take into account the concerns of the parents and what they want the child to be able to do ahead. We also involve the parents in the training and the therapy so that they can generalize the activities being done in the therapy into the activities of daily living. There's a place for support groups of the parents where they can share their concerns and also share their stories, which can help other parents overcome the stigma and further help their child. I would now like Ms. Urja to talk about the future directions for this entire project.
Thank you, Rashida. And as Rashida pointed out, that while there might be some re-evaluation required of the data in itself, there has been clear indication that there has been a shift in the developmental status of the children, as well as in the attitudes and the ability of the community to embrace different ways of being. And to really understand the shift that happens and to understand the exact impact of the nature of services on these shifts, it's important that we study this sort of a program at multiple sites. It is also important going forward that for us to enable access to such resources and to access for intervention and family support, there is a need for trained grassroots workers by way of community health workers who facilitate the screening and the education, as well as the child development aides who function as paratherapists for the children and for training of the parents. There is real consideration for implementing similar programs at the government level so that these sort of intervention services can be rolled out across the country and are accessible at a much wider scale in rural communities, which otherwise would not have access to these sort of resources. Scale can only happen with partnerships with the government. So this is, we hope that this study sets the future direction for such possibilities. Thank you, Rashida.
Thank you. We would, at the end of this presentation, we would like to acknowledge Ummeed Child Developmental Center, Sneha, and Dr. Ashwini for their constant support and guidance throughout the project. All the authors declare no conflict of interest, and thank you. We'll be happy to answer any questions.